All in all, guys. So I just want to tell you guys about this Acadia. Man, I screwed up. I screwed up. So here's where I screwed up. I bought aftermarket parts. Don't buy aftermarket parts because they're just going to screw you. You're going to end up going back over what you did. Why is my shit fucked up? What did I replace wrong? What did I do wrong? That's what I've been telling myself. What did I do? What did I do? Did I fuck something up? No, it wasn't me, guys. It wasn't me. And you know what it was? You know what it was? I'll tell you. This high pressure fuel pump right here, right? So I was having problems, right? Like the thing would start up, idle, great, everything was perfect, but you try to give it the throttle, it'd bog out, okay? So I bought a fucking a high pressure fuel pump and I replaced it. This is the old one. This is the original one. I took the new one out and put this one back in. So when I had that Chinese piece of shit, I put that Chinese piece of shit in, the cheapest one I can get, you guys. You know, don't buy cheap shit because it's not worth it because you're going to regret it. I promise you. So I replaced the high pressure fuel pump with a Chinese piece of shit, right? And my car was throwing all kinds of code, reduced power, all kinds of shit like 5050A code, IAC, math, all kinds of fucking codes, man. And that's what it was. It was that high pressure. So it's still not right. Something's wrong with it, or my my fuel rail sensor's bad. Because every time I start this fucking thing, once I took that Chinese high pressure out and put the original one back in, my needle was good for a minute and then it started fluctuating again, flipping around like in my last video. You guys, if you see my last video, you see it. It was flipping around real high and shit. So once I swapped that new high pressure pump out with the original one, I started this car up and my gauge was good for a minute and then it started flipping around again. So that's where I'm at with this thing. But I have no more codes. My remote start works. It starts right up, runs great until you start throttling it. But I know I got a fuel problem because like I said, my fuel pressure needle is flipping around like 10 psi. It goes from 45 to 35, 45 35, 45 35. So that either tells me I got a bad fuel pressure regulator or the original high pressure fuel pump is just stuck open or I got a vacuum leak. So we're going to see about that. We're going to fix that out. We're going to fix that tomorrow. But that's where I'm at with it, guys. Man, this thing was running horrible. Ever since I did the timing chain, the thing ran great. And then I started fucking with the fuel pump and shit. And then it started running like fucking shit. Throwing code after code after code after code. And it would never throw a code for the high pressure pump. But that just goes to show. I came out here today. I was like, let me back trace my steps. Let me go back because this car was not running shitty. It wasn't doing shit, you know, until I replaced the high pressure pump and the fuel pump in the back and shit. So, and I went through pumps. I bought pumps, a couple pumps that was bad. And that's another thing. Don't buy Chinese shit. I bought two fuel pumps. You guys probably don't believe this, but this is really what happened. So I had the original AC Delco pump in the tank. And the guy told me it needs a fuel pump. It needs a fuel pump. It needs a fuel pump. All right, so I went ahead and ordered one anyway. I ordered a cheapest motherfucker I can get. Don't ever do that. It's a Chinese knockoff piece of shit. So I ended up 2 pumps later. This is my 3rd one in here. It's a Bosch, Delphi, AC Delco, whatever you want to say. So I got this pump runs, it pumps 45, 50 PSI. But then I replaced that high pressure pump with a Chinese pump. And it was running like shit. It would fucking start, die. Just throwing codes like a motherfucker. So today I decided I'm going to backtrace what I fucking did. So I know my pump in the tank's fucking pumping. I'm getting good PSI. So I went ahead and pulled that Chinese piece of shit back off. And I put the original pump back on, the high pressure pump back on. And guess what? Hey, I have no codes, nothing. I'm still getting it idles. It starts up perfectly, idles perfectly, but if you try to give it some throttle, it bogs down. And my pressure gauge is still fluttering. So what I'm going to do tomorrow, I'm going to pull the intake off, and I'm going to replace my fuel rate pressure sensor, and we'll see what that does. It didn't even throw no codes. Like, I can shut the hood, and, I mean, if I had the throttle body on it, but I could shut the hood and use my remote starts right up, throw no codes, no nothing. It's just crazy once you start throwing parts on these things. Aftermarket parts on these vehicles, how much it will fuck shit up. Get codes after codes after codes. You just chasing shit. And I got tired of it. I was like, fuck it. I'm done chasing. I'm just gonna go back to where I started. So when I had trouble with this car. When I started having trouble with this car, it was because I replaced the fuel pump. And so, like I said, I replaced the fuel pump over and over, like 3 times. This is the 3rd fuel pump I put in this shit. And then the high pressure pump. Cheap fucking Chinese shit. It's like $100 or something I paid for it. It was a waste of money. It threw everything. It fucked my whole car up, man. So, just to let you guys know, don't ever buy cheap aftermarket shit. Buy AC Delco. If you're dealing with a GM, AC Delco. OEM replacement shit. And I'm telling you that now. I'm telling you that now because I went through it. I tried to be cheap. It didn't work out. And look what I'm doing. I'm doing it over and over. Over and over. Don't do it. Don't be like me. Don't be a dumb fuck. Buy OEM parts, do it right the first time, and then you won't be like me. Still sitting here with this goddamn Acadia, and that was a problem. I put a shitty high pressure fuel pump on it, and it threw everything off. It threw my mass off. It threw my regulators off. Everything was fucked up. Everything was fucked up. You know, my cold idle start. You know, when you start a car when it's cold, it idles up. You know, that wasn't working. Yeah, a lot of shit, dude. It fucked my whole fucking shit up. So, I'm just telling you. OEM. That's it. Don't buy no cheap shit.